Hey everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur. Now, let's talk about Uber's value, because you have probably heard a lot of things over the course of the last couple of years on what Uber is valued, what they've got. And let's make a couple things clear. First of all, when people said what's their valuation, that is not the money they have in the bank. That is not. The money they have in the bank is the money they have in the bank. And no one is exactly sure what's in the bank, although some estimate it's somewhere between $5 to $15 billion. We don't know for sure. That information is not made public. But valuation is different from actual money in the bank. Let's make that clear. Here's the other thing we need to make clear. Uber, for the longest time, has had a $60 to $69 billion valuation on paper. Or on paper, this is what it's worth. However, Uber is not a publicly traded company. That means things like how much money they're making or not making, how many assets they have, how many employees, yada, yada, yada. All this stuff, not really made public. They don't need to make it public unless you're publicly traded, at which point you have outside investors coming in and, well, then it's going to be made a little public. Now, the Softbank deal has been talked about a lot, but people still aren't entirely sure what it means exactly. This Softbank deal will not solidify what Uber is worth, for the record. It does, however, solidify for the first time what Uber is worth to an outside investor, not an inside investor. Uber has pretty much always done fundraising. They, fundraise and they give them a stake in the company. This is the first time that privately held shares of Uber will be sold to an outside company. And this is, I was actually kind of looking forward to this because I wanted to see what SoftBank, the Japanese company, would actually offer Uber, because here's where it's going to get tricky, because again, it's been $69 billion on Uber's paper, but we don't know what they make or anything. And so really the company could be valued at whatever they want. And there were grumblings from inside investors that the company was actually worth far less than what they anticipated. And you know what? This happens quite a bit. It's actually not uncommon. If you look at things can change. Like when Twitter went public, they valued it at far more money in value than what it actually took in and made it worth. On the other hand, when Tesla went public, they were valued far less and brought in a lot more. So that's how fickle it can be, and nobody knows anything, and I want that to be absolutely clear. We discuss this, and again, we aren't going public yet. This is just a personal offer. That said, according to this particular outside investor, Uber sure ain't worth the $69 billion. In fact, they're worth considerably less, at around, here's what the article says from Business Insider. Japan SoftBank is planning to buy stock in Uber from existing shareholders at a steep discount to the ride-hailing company's current valuation, according to a Bloomberg report citing anonymous sources on Monday. SoftBank's offer will value Uber at $48 billion, roughly 30% lower than the $69 billion that investors valued the company at during previous fundraising rounds. The deal would allow SoftBank to purchase up to $9 billion of Uber stock from existing shareholders in a tender offer. SoftBank also plans to invest $1 billion directly into Uber at the $69 billion valuation. The official price of SoftBank's tender offer is expected to be announced on Tuesday, which is today. Hence, you might see another video with me, maybe this time even shaved, because I'm making this late at night and I hate getting a lot of facial hair. So this might very well be shaved a little later today if we make the other video. So with Uber's IPO not expected to come for 2019, many early Uber investors are eager to cash in on some of their shares and wants to become the world's most valuable privately held tech startup. But it's not yet clear whether those investors will agree to sell their shares to SoftBank at the discounted price. Uber and SoftBank representatives can decline to comment. Now, here's what we need to talk. Here's what you need to know about the SoftBank deal and why this has been so much discussed. Because here's the thing: if SoftBank invests in the company, this might be the fastest way to save the company, because it would be buying out people who the company considers toxic, although not Travis Kalanick. Kalanick refuses to sell a single share of Uber stock because he's Kalanick. However, by doing this, it would also upsert the super vote, so Kalanick's influence would go way, way, way down. Also, with some new allies on his side, the new CEO might actually be able to start changing Uber for the better. Not only with how they handle data breaches and information, stuff like that, but maybe even slight rate increases. Now, I know some YouTubers have come out recently and said that it's just simply not going to happen. And I agree, it's probably not going to happen as soon as we want it to. But the thing is, it has to. They can't lose money forever. They just cannot lose money forever. But by getting some partners in there, kind of like how Lyft has Google to fall back on, I think Uber wants to fall back a little on SoftBank. And SoftBank will be in it to win it. And they will invest the money that needs to be invested, and they will strategize. And here's the thing. I think SoftBank will try to get Uber up to a price where it's profitable for everybody. It'll be slow. You can't do it rapidly. It might even be small little increments of 5 cents here, 10 cents there. I don't know. But they will do it. And again, certain board members will probably be gone. Kalanick's super vote will be taken away. Now, again, the article has pointed out, though, that not everybody might be willing to sell. That's what's going to be interesting about the potential announcement later today. If enough people don't sell, then the deal goes away. And then things, more or less, I think, go on just the way they were before. And that's another problem. Especially since Uber's in some very big problems with the government right now. Very big problem. Having very big trouble with the government. Having a new partner come in might ease the government's concerns about how the company is handled, because there'll be a new set of bosses coming in to kind of help run things. So, but the big story that people are going to take away from this is that Uber is not worth as much as they claim they did. And you know what? This is not a surprise to me, frankly. It's not. I actually suspected they were inflating their own value. I mean, because that's the thing, when it's privately held, it could be worth whatever you want it to be, pretty much. It's all on paper. That's what it is. But this is the first tangible sign of what we can consider the company is worth. And if the offer goes through, the company is worth $48 billion. Maybe not officially, but a little more solidly, it's close to $48 billion. We won't know exactly what it's worth until they go public, which the company does want to do, which they do need to raise more money. And then we'll just have to see what happens there. And just to be totally realistic with you guys, though, just because they're bringing this money and just because they're planning to go public, it doesn't mean the rates will go up necessarily. I mean, it's interesting how Uber will continuously raise the booking fee, but they will not raise the rates if they can help it. And even if they're continuing to lose money, another company that continuously loses money? Well, a couple actually. Tesla, Amazon.com. Neither of these companies are profitable. They are held up by the stock market. The problem with being held up by the stock market, of course, is that if the stock ever dips in a serious way, like it did with, say, Enron, then your company's in serious trouble if that's what's holding you up. If the stockholders are what's prepping your company, you need the stock to always go up, because you always need to offset the losses and make money. And you know, that's just the reality of it. So, I don't. So yeah, the IPO needs to go as smoothly as possible if Uber intends to continue this money losing trajectory of theirs. They just need to. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens. In the meantime, 48 billion, that's a far cry from 69, but that's what we're looking at right now. What do you folks think? Do you think that sounds about right? Do you think that sounds a little low? Do you think Uber will be worth more than 69 billion at one point? I'd love to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And if you enjoy the videos I make, consider becoming a Patreon member for as little as $1 a month. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.